Hello, you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Christabel, the original Power Ranger princess, but on this video, I am Princess Power Ranger. Now, I want to talk about astrology. So I'm going to be talking about astrology for a little bit, and I wanted to follow the natural progression of the zodiac. Now, a lot of people who talk about astrology, they often talk about it with very little nuance. And they often talk about the best manifestation of the ram. They often talk about the most ideal version of an Aries. I'm not doing that in this video. I'm only talking about when an Aries man is a narc, when he's narcissistic, when he is toxic, and when he is at the absolute extreme. I'm talking about an Aries man when you have pissed him off to the highest level of festivity, when he is coming to fight at you with his horns, when he is being a reckless ram. So this isn't going to be one of those fluff astrology, breakdowns. But the wonderful thing is, because I'm starting with Aries, Aries is one of the most direct signs in the zodiac. So, Aries is born between the 21st of March to the 19th or 20th sometimes of April, depending on the time. Aries is literally, it's the first sign of the zodiac, so you know this nigga is intense. He is sociable, and that's how he gets your ass. That is how he gets your ass. Aries is the natural leader, naturally boisterous, naturally magnetic. According to astrology, Aries is ruled by Mars. Now, Mars is the god or the planet of war, and Aries certainly represents that. He is the independent soldier. But if he's the independent soldier, that means he's the type of dude that is never at peace with himself. He's always at war. An Aries, I want you to remember this about an Aries man. He will either light the way, or he will set everything in front of him ablaze. Actually, that's more the woman, but it's that energy. So at his worst, because he's ruled by Mars, he's the independent soldier. He comes out fighting. He is combative as all hell. The one thing about Aries, and I've always said this, they speak faster than what they think. They are always putting their foot in their mouth, even when they're on the light end. And Aries is going to be direct as all hell. They're going to be very, very, very straightforward. And half the time they're not even they don't even mean anything by it. But at his worst, he's very combative. And he is also, he's just rude as fuck and tends to be tactless. There is no tact within this sign. A more evolved Aries will learn how to be tactful later in life, but nah. They come out their mama coochie fighting. That's what you need to understand with this energy. It's a very masculine, it is the most masculine sign. So at their worst, they are selfish as all hell. And it affects all areas of their life. I'll give you an example. In bed, Aries is incredibly selfish. They tend to be the type of guy that will brag about their sexual prowess. They're going to tell you how they're going to, give your pussy a black eye. They're going to put it down on you. They're not going to do none of that shit. Half of the time, they're 2-minute men. And because what you need to understand when Aries is ruled by being selfish, when they're at the extreme negative end, it is all about self. So as soon as that guy climax, he comes, oh, it's done for him. Doesn't matter if it took a minute or an hour or what you were feeling. Yeah, like a narcissistic Aries. Oh yes, oh yes, yes, yes. He lacks consistency. Now, one of the main reasons that he lacks consistency, if you look at the tarot, the card that represents Aries is the Fool. Now, the Fool is impulsive, going out for a new adventure, starting new things, fucking Bob the Builder. So he will lack consistency. If you live with this dude, you're gonna have like halfway finished projects because he started something and he could not finish it. And that includes your orgasm, by the way. So forget about, like, you need to know how to take care of yourself if you're dealing with this dude. Tell me why when Aries male is toxic and he's a narc, oh, he's a sellout. He'll sell out his mama, his cousin, his brother, the 2-week-old fetus. And that dog and grandma and grandpa, they get sold out too because they're ruled by self at the extreme level. And everybody gets it. The one thing I do love about Aries is because they're so tactless and they just don't know how to talk to people. It's all people. It's the priest. It's like they are not a respecter of persons. Like the Bible says, you know how God says, I'm not a respecter of persons. I see all men equal. Aries is like that because he thinks he is the main motherfucking dog. He thinks he's everything because he's a first sign. And at a negative end, he can be rude to his mother, father, uncle, brother, the baby, even the dog. Even the dog can get it. He can be prone to his violence, angry for no reason, like just mad. I think I'm going to have to do part 2 of this video because I want to get into examples of some dark-sided Aries men. Now, remember I was talking about sex and how he's bad at it? He's also hypersexual, meaning at the extreme, he's gonna be a hoe. I mean, but I do want to say there are incidences where the dark-sided or narcissistic Aries man is good at sex, and this only happens when it is purely tied in with his ego. And often when they are good at sex, Aries is the kind of guy, when he's dark-sided, he walks in and his body does what it needs to do. If you happen to enjoy yourself, girl, I mean, go get it. Because you just got. Because that's their energy. Very misogynistic. A womanizer. Of note, when he's dark-sided. But this is the weird thing. He won't be an incel. He will get the girl. He'll get 10 of them. He's the type of guy at the extreme end who will still have many women or men or trannies or anything that moves that's not held down. But with women, he will specifically hate them at his most darkest. Because Aries is the sign, I think of Aries at the dark end as the meathead. The meathead, like the dumb jock who isn't necessarily stupid, but is intelligent in terms of sports, in terms of aggression, in terms of combat. That's the energy that an Aries comes with. And when they have too much Aries placements in their chart, even when they're not dark-sided, when they're fighting with you, you're going to see this because Aries is known, whether he's on the dark or the light side, to be the sign of the open enemy when he hates you. When y'all have beef, when y'all have an issue, he is the open enemy. He will be openly rude, aggressive, cut you off. All of that work he's done on himself to be more attentive and listening. Once you piss him off, the volcano explodes. It explodes, and it needs to explode. Aries is a sign. They're very quick to get angry, but also quick to forgive. And this is why I always say to people, when you're dealing with an Aries, whether he's on the dark end, the reckless ram, or whether he is on the light side, you have to put them in their place early on. You have to let them know you're not going to be pushed over. They'll respect you more for it. And they'll be loyal and fight all your enemies with you. They're also really fun. Aries is ruled by impulsivity. So, impulsivity, is that a word? But because it is the sign of the meathead, the sign of the dumb jock, the sign of ruled by tarot, the fool, there's fun and foolishness. They're the life of the party. They're the most enthusiastic, the one that is the adventurer, the one that is going to pull you out of your boredom. On the light end, you can never be depressed with an Aries around, because when you're crying, they're going to be like, bitch, get your motherfucking ass up. We're going to go hike. We are going to be happy. And I love that. I love how they can just pull you out of sadness when they're on the light side. But we're talking about the narc. The narc will be the cause of your depression. He's a meathead, and he can be very, 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 very two-dimensional. Nothing's going on upstairs, girl. When he's at his worst, he can be brass, farting, burping, grunting instead of damn talking, picking fights. Jealousy is a big thing, and the jealousy for that Aries narcissistic man is tied in with his misogyny. He sees you as a trophy, as something he owns, not as a partner. So it's tied in with their selfishness. So they can be very, very selfish and bad in bed. I can't overemphasize that enough, because at their dark end, they are ruled by wanting things that are quick and easy and fast. So, yeah. Now, when he's on his depressive mode, Aries is usually very positive. They are the visionary. But when he is being hit with his depression, he's self-hating. Oh my gosh, Aries at the worst, he's self-hating and destructive, because for him, there has to be some punishment, and he ends up punishing himself either with alcohol, with illicit substances, just walking around fighting with people for no reason. I want you to think of Heath Ledger. Now, he's not a dark-sided Aries, but how he passed was very, very, very true to the way an Aries male would pass in his dark-sided state. He was doing the movie The Dark Knight, and he fully immersed himself in the role. And as an Aries man, you cannot fully immerse yourself in any kind of darkness. Hell, as anyone. But with his Aries nature, he got into those substances, and he was self-destructive. Another example of a dark-sided Aries man who's more of a hoe is Eddie Murphy. Donka! How many kids does that man have? And those women were just trophies for him. He never, come on now. So he's one example. Then you have Jackie Chan. Oh, he's hella dark-sided. So Jackie Chan was one of the best martial arts actors our generation has or will ever see. So let's give him his flowers. However, he was always prone to violence within his nature. His first wife, he liked hitting, allegedly. He liked, doing that thing he'd been doing since he was a baby. That and just, like sprucing her up, getting some spice in the relationship by causing arguments, which was very, very hard for her. And yeah, apparently a lot of people who know him, an actress, I forget her name, she talked about how much of a misogynist this man was. And I'm like, well, he on his Aries buzz. He's on his Aries dark-sidedness. So when you're dealing with a dark-sided Aries, or an Aries man who is starting to display his dark-sided nature, I want you to do this. Stop him dead in his tracks. If you're sensitive, forget all of that. Forget all of that. You need to match his energy of tactlessness and put him in his place. Aries bark is worse than their bite. The sign I don't want to fight with is really Taurus, because that's blind rage. Aries often, he's just talking. He's just talking because he's a big time kid. Which reminds me of like Gemini. Him and Gemini men tend to be, when they're toxic, they are fun together. Because Aries is the big kid. You can't take this Guido anywhere. You can't. You honestly cannot. He's just gonna embarrass you to no end. He doesn't always mean it. But yeah, you could get tired with his aggressive, loud, boisterous energy. And what else? Yeah, like, I just want you to know that their bark really is worse than their bite when they're at that dark end. And this is Aries at the absolute extreme. So you will see the side of a dark-sided man, of a dark-sided Aries man, when you piss him off. He will display one or, well, actually, if he's dark-sided, and depending on the day that he's born, he may display realistically 5 or even all of those traits. And it's not to say we're judging anyone, but rather you need to know how to deal with people. You need to know how to deal with them when they are in their true nature, not as how you want them to be. I love Aries. Like, my mom is an Aries, so Aries is one of my favorite signs. I love how just you can be honest and direct with them. There is no sugarcoating anything. And there is a level of freedom that you have with a person like that. And if you help them find their light, they literally they're the advocate. They fight for the bullied and the brokenhearted like no one else, because they are born natural fighters. But at their dark end, they will fight you and themselves. So it is up to you to know how to deal with an Aries when he's at his feral state. Thank you so much for watching. If I offended anyone, your ass better not be an Aries, because the number of people you have offended. Anyways, I love you. I'm going to talk about the dark-sided Aries woman, because she represents the male energy, the masculine energy, in a very, very different way. And how she fights is very different from how an Aries man fights. Just side note, if an Aries is born on the 2nd, they tend to be more prone to be in healthier relationships or seek out relationships, because the 2nd deals with relationships. If he's born on the 11th, that man will forever cheat. He will forever... He's always going to be in a love triangle, and there are going to be issues with his mama. If he's born on the 29th, there's an issue with the mother. There is open war with the mother. If he's born on the 29th of March, because you have to tie in numerology with gender and the sign and all the other contributing signs within that person's chart. If he's born on the 4th, he is going to have an issue with his dad. The 4th is the masculine sign. If he's on the 18th, he is going to be even at his light end, because 18 breaks down to 9. So if he's born on the 18th or the 9th, he's going to be a little bit more Aries than all the other Aries. He'll be the boss of the Aries. He'll be the boss of the Aries. But let me know if you want me to do an actual deep dive on the dark-sided Aries man. I'm going to move on to the Aries woman, and then I'm going to slowly make my way through until I reach my beautiful Pisces. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. It's me attacking you with my horns.